Hey everybody, how's it going? Josh here. Welcome back to New Tuning Tuesdays. Today happening on a Wednesday. I unfortunately got sidetracked and wasn't able to finish the video yesterday, but still wanted to go through a new tuning this week. So this week's tuning is one that I actually made up myself, and it probably has been used, I would imagine. It's great, so it probably has a name. I don't know what that name is yet, but I wanted to go through it because I think it's a great tuning and I'm really excited about using it. So to get into this tuning, starting from the lowest string, we're at C sharp, G sharp, C sharp, G sharp for the top, and then the last two strings are A sharp and D sharp. So you probably notice, this is pretty similar to an open C sharp, basically. So open C up a half step, but there's some really important distinctions, and the distinctions that are important are the highest two strings. So the A sharp and the D sharp on the bottom. Rather than making an open C sharp major chord, which is what open C is, you're actually adding in a fourth and a sixth into the chord, and what that does is it just adds this layer of ambiguity and sort of openness to it. I love those sort of chordal harmonies of the fourth as well as the sixth. It just seems like it adds a really interesting flavor to almost everything you do, especially if you just kind of explore and are open to kind of coming up with new things for this tuning. So looking at the tuning, this is what it sounds like. So as you can hear, it has a really nice kind of open sound to it, and you can just bar chords with this tuning, and it sounds really great. Something that immediately stuck out to me about this tuning is that I love how it works with the intonation, the natural intonation of the guitar. So if you think about like string tensions, strings sound better at certain tensions, and all the guitar strings are different thickness, so they obviously respond differently to various tensions. And I found the guitar responds really nicely to a little bit low, going a little lower on the low end, but having a C in that bass string can feel a little too low. It starts to make the string almost have this like flappy feel. So I really like going up that half step. I really think the lowest string responds well to being a C sharp, and the lowest four strings really respond well to kind of providing that low end sort of pulse to everything. But then having a little bit more tension on the higher strings, I think just almost like expands the harmonic range of the guitar. So I really like being in C sharp, strangely, instead of C. And I've heard a lot of other musicians and guitarists play in C sharp tunings, and I imagine it's just from playing around and sort of liking that level of tension. So that was the first thing I noticed. The second thing I noticed about this tuning is that a lot of fingerings that you might be used to in standard are going to sound really nice on this tuning, and it's going to naturally, you're not going to have to stretch too far to find like interesting extensions. So one that I really like is that sort of A7 shape, but played with my ring finger and pinky finger. So you can honestly go all day with that shape and just move it around and use the lowest strings to kind of provide a drone. Another interesting shape that sort of stuck out to me was that basically that same shape, like a D, almost like a D shape, played with the ring and the pinky, but on the highest, the normally G string and normally E string. So provides a fifth, which you don't actually, that fifth, I feel like you don't get as often as I want in the normal guitar, and then being able to play what was the B string, now is the A sharp string, open. Just sounds really good. It seems like this tuning would lend itself really well to just creating soundscapes and just being in that sort of open chordal realm. It's major, it's open, but it's like more ambiguous than major, which I really like. So a lot of possibilities there, and just really easy and nice to play in this tuning. You also have your C sharp major chord here, forgot to mention, by putting your pointer on the fourth fret of what was the D string, and ring finger on the fifth fret of what was the G string. So yeah, some really nice open chords with this tuning in intervals that sound better, honestly, in this tuning than in standard, I think. And you know, the tuning naturally makes me just want to play. I think because it's so hard to make it sound bad. I think it's just, without even really knowing what you're doing, you can just find beautiful things with this tuning, and that naturally just makes me want to play more. So I always think that's a good sign when you find a new tuning that just makes you want to play. So yeah, one thing that I've been wanting to do that I think is a great way to learn a new tuning, it's really a great way to learn anything, is to create with it. So rather than just consuming information, trying to actually respond to the information and come up with something new, I think is a great exercise. So I figured, hey, practice what I preach. I'm going to try to write something in this tuning. So this is what I was messing around with as I was sort of playing around with the tuning this morning. So yeah, again, that came out after 2 minutes of playing around with this tuning, and I hope that shows you how easy it is to kind of come up with things that just feel nice, that sort of naturally lend themselves to wanting to play and explore on the guitar, which for those who've been struggling with guitar for many years, as I have, that's a nice thing to have, sort of have something be given to you easily. So yeah, I encourage you to pick up your guitar, tune into this, retune into this tuning, and have some fun with it. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.